Okie dokie. So this is another quick how-to video for us to understand how we convert our fractions into decimals. So I'm going to use one fraction just to quickly show you guys again how we divide fractions. So the fraction that I'm going to use is 1/3. All right. And if you remember back from Friday, September 3rd, September 4th, and if you remember today, which is September 8th, in my videos I always say that every time you see a fraction, you need to label. We need to label saying that identifying which one is our numerator, which number is our numerator, and which number is our denominator. So I know that 1 is my numerator and 3 is my denominator. Now, we also need to know which number is our dividend and which one is our divisor. And so 1 would be my dividend and 3 would be my divisor. All right, now that we know our vocabulary, it's time for us to set up our problem. Now, if we remember back to the story that I told you guys about norming the numerator, hence in norming the numerator, and donkey the denominator, that will help us know how to set our problem up. Now, I see that I have 1 as norming the numerator. So that means that norming the numerator needs to go where when it's time for him to go to sleep? Inside the house. And where does donkey the denominator go to sleep at? Outside. All right. So now we set our problem up and now it's time for us to divide. So now I'm going to see does 3 go into 1 evenly? And the answer is no. So since I cannot divide, I need to add a 0 above my house. Now every time I add a 0 above my house, I also need to add a decimal. Every time I add a decimal, which will only be 1 time above your house, I need to drop down a 0. Now I can see that I can divide. So now I see that 3 times 3 gives me 9. And I subtract, and I have 1 left over. Now remember, in 6th grade, we don't have leftovers or remainders. So that means that every time we see that we have a leftover remainder, that lets me know that we are not done dividing or solving this problem. So that means I need to add another 0. So I'm going to add another 0, and I'm going to bring down my 0 that I added and continue to divide. I see that 3 times 3 gives me 9. I subtract, and I have 1 left over. Okay? Once again, we have no leftovers or remainders in 6th grade, so I need to add another 0. I typically stop at the thousands place just because that's where we're not required to continue to go past the thousands place. So I add another 0, and I'm going to bring down that 0. All right, I'm going to extend my line out, and I see that 3 times 3 gives me 9 again. So there's where I'm going to stop because now I'm noticing a pattern. I'm noticing that I just keep getting 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 at the top of my house. So that means that we have a repeating decimal. So since we have a repeating decimal, I'm just going to put 0 and 33 hundredths, or you could put 333 thousandths, whichever one. But what I'm going to need to do is add a fraction bar or a repeating bar, above my 3. The repeating bar lets me know that the 3 is going to continue to repeat. So if I decided that I want to continue to keep dividing, I'm going to continue to keep getting 3. 3, 3, 3, 3. And if I put it in a calculator, I'm going to see that if I divided 1 divided by 3, I'm still going to continue to get 3, 3, 3, 3. So this just kind of shortens this up for us. So here's an example of how we divide using our fractions. So you use this as a reference to come back to if you ever get stuck with dividing your fractions and converting them into decimals.